All right. So, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to As the Culture Turns. My name is Jameer. I'll be your host for today's episode. And on today's episode, I have a very, very, very special guest with me. For those who don't know you, could you tell them? Could you tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Sure. So I am Britt Carter. I am the owner, I guess, and CEO, right, of Bforeal
Facts.
plant-based meals as well as Bforeal juice. I currently live in Chester, PA. A lot of people don't know. I actually grew up in Eddystone, so it's funny because a lot of people be like, "Oh, do you claim Eddystone?" It's like, child, I grew up there. It is what it is. Um, yeah, Be for Real stands for being real about what we're putting into our bodies without compromising on the familiar flavors that we know
Mhm.
and love. And I specialize in all things plant based. Everything's plant based.
That's good. That's good. That's good. All
Yeah,
right. So before we get into the whole vegan journey, I want to ask about you.
sure.
Um were you always into cooking? And when I say that, because obviously for you to be making vegan food, you probably had to be into cooking prior. So at what age would you say that you got into cooking?
I actually was always into cooking from a very young age. I can't even give an exact number just because I always loved to cook. Now, of course, when I was younger, I was a terrible cook. I did not know what I was doing. I always would add too much season, like too much pepper or too much salt. And I would get in the kitchen, like my mom would give me the freedom and the leeway to go ahead and cook on my own. She did make me wait because of course when you younger it's just like all right, you could cook but don't use the stove when nobody's home. And
Facts.
child, I almost burnt the house down when I was like 11 because I was cooking on the stove when nobody was home, and I fell asleep on the couch just as big when of course I ate meat. But I
Mhm.
was cooking some hot dogs on the stove and I fell asleep on the couch, and child, I almost burnt the house down. The fire department had to come, the alarms went off, child, they called the fire department. It was a mess. So yeah, back then I loved to cook. I just was not good at it at all.
Wow, it got that far to where the fire department had to come.
It was so
Wow.
embarrassing. The whole block was outside. Everybody was looking like, what's going on? They had to come in with the big industrial fans to air the house out because it was so smoky. And then, of course, when the security system go off, they call you and they're
Facts.
like, well, what's your password? And I was so frantic. I was so scared. I couldn't remember the password to save my life. And I was like, I'm just 11 years old. Like, I don't know.
How did your
So,
parents react?
so when my mom came home, she was like, "Well, what happened?" And I was like, "I burnt them in the microwave. It was the microwave, like." And she was like, "The microwave, like it really had it smoking like that." I was like, "Yeah, the microwave, like it just, it. I don't even know. It just started smoking." And at the time, she didn't have any evidence because I hid the pot under the sink. So
Mhm.
maybe about a couple of weeks later, she found the pot under the sink because I didn't forgot I put it there.
Oh, I know. I'm about to say you ain't throw away the evidence, but I feel you. I
Didn't throw
feel
away the
you.
evidence. So she finds the pot because I knew in her mind she knew I was lying, but she didn't have any proof because of course by the time the fire department got there, I had put the hid the pot. So the fire department, I lied to them too. I was like, it was the
Facts.
microwave. So she finds the pot weeks later and was like, I cannot believe. By the time it was so old though, it was just like, why did you cook
Yeah.
on the stove? So I
Exactly.
didn't really get in I didn't really get in trouble for it, but she was upset. She was upset. She was like, "Why did you do this? Why did you lie?" I think she was more mad that I lied, opposed
Yeah,
from me actually cooking on the stove. She was just like, "It's dangerous. Like you could have really hurt yourself." So yeah,
facts. And you know
yeah, I
how
was
it is
terrible.
as kids when we're told not to do something, it's like, let me try it anyway. You
Let's
feel me?
try it
'Cause
anyway.
I was that same type of kid. Trust me, trust me.
Yeah,
Definitely.
had to get
I
the
wanted to
feedback.
say, you wasn't that kid that had the easy bake oven. Was you that kid that had the easy bake oven?
No, but I always wanted one. I always wanted one. I would go over to my cousin's house and she had one, and I was just so jealous that I didn't have one. I always wanted to like bake something, cook something, like have the little kitchenette set that the little girls have. And my mom never bought. I don't know why. Like, and I always wanted one. Never bought me one. So
Oh,
that's why I was really in the kitchen burning stuff because I ain't had an easy bake.
exactly. You could have gave me that. We could have avoided this whole situation.
Avoided everything.
Nah, big
So
facts. All right. So now I do want to ask you about when you start the transition. So when you start the transition into going into a plant-based lifestyle, can I ask you, how did it start off? Like, was it easy? Because there's a lot of people out there, including myself, who's trying to make that transition to a vegan lifestyle. Most of my family is vegan, and I do
Yeah.
good when I'm with
Oh, that's
them, but when I'm by
good.
myself, I do bad. So,
Yeah.
how was the transition for you starting off? Like, what inspired you, and what made you decide to make that transition?
So initially, it was just weight loss. Like I wanted to lose some weight, and I don't recall where I like read it at or where I initially seen it. But I was like, you know what? I should cut out meat. Like, and the original game plan was, okay, I'm just going to try it for 2 weeks. Let's try it for 2 weeks and let's see how it goes. Me and my boyfriend did it together. We just was like, hey, let's try it and see how it goes. So I started researching, looking up all these recipes, basically like meal prepping and planning out our days to see our okay, what are we going to eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks? Like, what are we going to eat? So
Hmm.
because I like to cook, I didn't have any issues like following the recipes and making things, finding things that I actually enjoy eating. Now, I will say for me, it was a little bit easier because I was never a huge meat eater. I did, I ate meat, of course, but I wasn't like big on meat to begin with.
Hmm.
So after the 2 weeks, the only reason why I did not go back to meat after the 2 weeks is because I felt so good. I had clarity. I felt more focused. I just felt healthy, if that makes sense. Like I just
Hmm.
felt good. And it's like you really don't know how bad you feel until you feel good. And you be like, dang, I was sluggish or I
Hmm.
did feel a little, foggy or whatever. So it wasn't until I started feeling good after those 2 weeks. And I was like, dang, I don't want to go back. And also I was scared to get sick. So a lot of times you hear like when you go a long time without eating meat and if you just, jump back into it, your stomach just doesn't know how to handle it right away. Like you have to really ease your way back into it, kind of like fasting. Even if you were to
Hmm.
fast, you need to ease your way back into like solid meats or heavier meats, such as like beef.
Hmm.
So I was just really scared of getting sick, and that was one of the things that made me not want to go back. And then on top of that, feeling really good. So after that, I really just took it day by day. Like I was like,
Hmm.
all right. And then days turned into months, and then months turned into a couple of years. And I was like, dang, I'm actually really doing this. Like this is really possible. And at first it was difficult. It was a lot of trial and error. It was a lot of things that I cooked for myself that I did not like. Like
Hmm.
the point
Facts.
that I'm at now is seasoned Brit. This is
Hmm.
I'm more of an expert now. Whereas though when I started out, I didn't know what I was doing. And my advice to people is that when you start anything that you're not really familiar with, you're not going to know what you're doing. You're not. You're going to have to take the time out to educate yourself and figure out what you like. And the best way I could say to start out if you are interested in adopting a vegan lifestyle or a vegan diet, I would say, is start out with foods that you already like, things
Hmm.
that you already like, and then veganize that.
Hmm.
So, if you like, let's say if you like chicken wings or whatever. Now, there isn't, of course, an exact duplicate for chicken wings as far as like the texture and biting something with a bone, but you
Right.
can always start off, really beginner with like cauliflower wings, and
Hmm.
people talk about cauliflower like, if you give me a cauliflower wing, like, why would you do that in place of a real wing? I don't want that. But if you cook it the right way, it's just
Tastes the
as
same.
good. It's just as good. You put in like when you think in another thing I like to give people as a tip is that when you have a piece of chicken fresh
Hmm.
out the store, you get it from the market. If you don't do anything to that chicken, what does it taste like? Nothing.
Nothing.
You have to season your chicken. And let's be clear, when you're seasoning that meat, you're using vegetables, you're using herbs, you're
Facts.
using things of
On the
earth
earth.
to season your meat. So why would you not do that to your vegetables? Like, how else are your vegetables going to taste good if you do not season them? You don't have, and seasoning does not mean salt. You can
Exactly.
use other things. You can make a sauce. You can use, things that have maybe a little bit more acidity that give you some flavor, like lemon juice,
Mm-hmm.
lime, stuff like that. So that's what I like to put in people's brains. If you get some chicken and you throw that chicken on the grill, what it's going to taste like? Nothing. If you get, let's say, tofu, a lot of people don't like tofu. If you get
Mm-hmm.
tofu and you throw tofu on the stove, what will it taste like? Nothing.
Nothing.
So season everything.
Facts. I'm a big believer of that and everything. And I always tell people, because you brought up the like the whole chicken aspect of it, because in 2018 I had went pescatarian, and trust
Okay.
me, I feel you. Even though it wasn't quite vegan, I feel you when you say you felt like you had clarity, you didn't feel as sluggish anymore. And I know that when I went through that phase, the thing about the chicken that I really missed the most was probably like the skin and the crunch. It wasn't
Yeah, the
probably more so
crunch.
the meat, but it was like the crunch and everything. So to recreate that, I would usually eat fish and stuff like that. And I've had the cauliflower
Yeah.
wings before, and like you said, if you do it right, it tastes good, and it's as close to a chicken wing that you would get, and it's better
Right.
for you and everything. And then you brought up the seasoning. That's the most important part. Like, people don't understand that seasoning is what really make our food taste good. It ain't really the chicken, the
Right.
cow. It is what you season it with to actually make the flavor, like you said. So that's a good
Yep.
point. I'm happy that you brought that up.
Yep.
So while we still on this subject, because before I just got on here with you, I had literally just made like a Beyond Meat burger that
Okay.
I just went splurging at the market buying a bunch of vegan stuff. But then I do get a lot of complaints from people, because a lot of people say that a lot of that food is processed. So
Yeah.
can you say, or could you give me any tips on on the foods like Morningstar or Beyond Meat? Like, what makes those items different than like home making it yourself?
So exactly what you said. Those items are processed. Now, I personally do not steer people all the way away from those types of products, just because for the transitioning vegan, for someone who's getting their feet wet and dabbling in veganism, those are great items to transition to. But just like anything else, moderation. Moderation. Those aren't things that you want to necessarily eat all the time or every day. Of course, anytime you're making food, it's always going to be best for you to make it yourself. That's anytime. Because you think about it, just compare it to going out to eat. If you actually stayed home and made your own food, you could decrease the calories, you know exactly what you're putting into it. So that's with anything. But I wouldn't necessarily deter people away from those products, just because for a transitional vegan, that might be the deciding factor of, am I going to try this lifestyle, or is it going to be too difficult? And I feel like as you get into it and you start to try things, okay, this Beyond Burger was really good. Dang, I got some free time this weekend. Let me try to make my own. Or,
Mhm.
hey, this, sausage was really good. I got some free time. Maybe I could spread out my own. Let me look on YouTube. So with veganism, it does require some prep. It requires
Mhm.
some prep. So I definitely will say that it is something where it is a commitment, but at the same time, what is your health worth? Like, what
Mhm.
is it worth? Is it worth you taking some extra time on a Sunday where you may have some, time off, and maybe prepping your meals for the week or whatever, and, setting aside that time to really like care about what you're eating? Because
Mhm.
I just feel like as you start to get into the lifestyle more, you'll recognize like what shortcuts you can take. So it's like,
Right.
yeah, I might have a Beyond Burger today, but then tomorrow maybe I'll make my own taco, or maybe I'll make my own, spaghetti, or, well, not the noodles, but like the sauce or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like you can pick and choose what meals you want to dedicate some prep to. Not all vegan meals take long to make. Not all vegan meals require a lot of prep. I think that's the misconception about vegan food too. People
Right.
think that every single meal um, takes a lot of time to make, and that's not true. And when I say you might want to, because before I said you might want to take some time to prep, and when I say that, I just mean like research.
Facts.
Find what you like
Mhm.
and research what takes time and what doesn't. There are
Mhm.
so many cookbooks and YouTube videos and just knowledge. Like we have the internet. There's so much knowledge out there about quick vegan meals,
Mhm.
easy vegan meals, 30-minute vegan meals. There is so much information out there where you can get quick, easy vegan meals that don't take you a long time to make. And that's no
Facts.
excuse. It's no
Facts.
excuse.
It's definitely not an excuse, and I'm happy you said that because I am one of those transitioning vegans because I know deep down that's where I want to be at. You know, obviously
Right.
it takes some obstacles, and it ain't always perfect. You know, when I was telling the story when I was pescatarian, the thing that made me go back to meat honestly was seeing how those people was acting over that Popeye's chicken sandwich. Like I had
Yes.
to figure out what was in it and everything, so that's what kind of made me lose my track and everything. But now I'm kind of
Yeah.
starting back over, and I am in that transitional stage. And I know what helps me is that half of my family vegan, half of them still eat meat, and I know that
Right.
half that eat that's vegan, they're a real big support system. So my question to you is, how was your support system when making that transitional stage? Because when a lot of people are stuck in their ways, they try to probably criticize what you're doing because they don't understand what you're doing. So how was your support system? Did like some family or friends go vegan with you, or was it like a solo dolo mission?
Child, what support? What support? What support? I was so low, dolo, child. It was just me and my boyfriend. Literally no one, not a soul supported it. No one.
Wow.
No one. Everybody had all the jokes, especially when the holidays rolled around and we were
Oh,
showing up to
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
Child. And then, mind you, when we showed up to Thanksgiving, we brought our own food or
Hmm.
whatever. Child, around the time we went vegan, someone in my family passed away, and we were at the repast. And
Hmm.
before we went to the repast, I stopped and got myself something to eat, and I brought
Hmm.
it with me to the repast. The look I got, like
The
the
audacity.
the disrespect, child. You would have thought I cursed somebody out the way they was so offended that I would not eat any of the repast food. Like I did not get any support. It was like jokes after jokes after jokes after jokes. I remember we had went on a trip, a group of friends, and I brought everything that I knew that I was going to eat because we went up to the mountain, so we drove up, and I
Mhm.
went grocery shopping. I got everything I needed. I made sure I had everything as far as so that I could cook for myself.
Mhm.
And in the morning time, I woke up, made myself breakfast or whatever. So one of the guys got up and he was just like, "Brittany, I know you hungry. Like I see you sitting there hungry." And I was like, "I'm not hungry
I'm
by a long
fine.
shot. I am not missing any meals, honey, please." So it was just like a lot of jokes, a lot of not understanding, a lot of they didn't want to understand, a lot of, "Oh, you're gonna be eating me again."
Facts.
Honestly, I kid you not, if I did not develop the platform that I gained, they would still probably be making jokes. It wasn't until they seen what I was doing and how it became a movement that people were just like, "Oh, Brittany, this is great. Oh, you're doing such a wonderful." Oh yeah, I am. I'm
Yeah,
doing a
now I
wonderful job
am.
now.
Now
Now
I
I
am.
am. Cause you see what's happening here. But no, I didn't have any support. And you know what? For me, it didn't matter because I've always been a leader. Like I've always been the type of person that walks to the beat of my own drum. So it didn't bother me
Mhm.
to not have the support. It didn't, because I was like, I'm the type of person, I'm going to do what I want to do anyway, regardless if you agree or not. Like I'm not doing anything to hurt anybody. I'm not disrespecting anybody. I'm doing something that I think is going to be good for me. And the problem with a lot of people is that they will peer pressure you into doing what makes sense to them.
Mhm.
So everybody was just like, "What are you doing?" No one understood. No one. So if it
Facts.
wasn't for my boyfriend, he was the only one, and we lived together, so it was just easy. Like I didn't have to. It wasn't that I didn't have like not one single person. At least we had each other.
Mhm.
And then it was great because we didn't have to cook like different meals for each other. I would cook, we would both eat the same things. It
Mhm.
was pretty supportive in the household. But
Yeah,
as far as like our families and our friends, mm-mm, nope.
that's you
It
know what?
wasn't until I started blowing up on YouTube and everybody was like, "Well, let me see what you
Let me see.
cooking.
Yeah, now
Let
they
me get
showing
a
interest.
bite."
And you know what?
Child.
that goes to show, and it's commendable that you were so dedicated and headstrong because again you said something that's very important. A lot of people will try to peer pressure you. I remember getting that. I remember people telling me I've been eating meat, older people, I've been eating meat all my life and I'm just fine. Like you hear
Yup.
all of the people doubting you, and it's like, why are you trying to discourage me from getting to my higher self? Like you want to
Right.
eat your meat, eat your meat, but don't criticize me. Like it's great that you was able to withstand all that because for me, I saw people fighting at Popeyes, and that got me off of my kick and everything.
And it was crazy because I took that Popeye situation, and I'll tell you right now, that's exactly how I kind of catapulted on YouTube because I seen everybody lining up the Popeyes, and I said, you know what? There's a vegan version for that. And I
hmm
made a vegan version and I put the video out. And literally that video to this day has over 1 million views.
I saw
Like
it.
it was child, I don't even know how I'm like this because it was definitely a lot of pressure to not to go back to eating meat. And it's
hmm
crazy because you don't realize how much people care about what you eat until
hmm
you say you don't eat meat. They be like, "What?"
Exactly.
They care.
So,
Then they care. They care a lot.
and
They care a lot.
even though it's funny too, because before we get into the YouTube stuff, I definitely want to talk about that. A lot of people will try to justify and say things like, "Oh, you get your protein from chicken." Like it was different things like that. And then I know this already, but do you mind explaining to our viewers that it's possible to get proteins from our fruits and vegetables, like the misconception that
Oh,
we can only get it from meat and not fruits and vegetables. Like, what do you
yes.
think of people that use that as a way to knock you off your path?
Okay, so real quick, no shade. But the minute I stopped eating meat, everybody turned into nutritionists and dietitians. I am so confused as to how all of a sudden everyone knows what's in every single ingredient or every single vegetable, every single fruit. Now everyone knows everything. And I was just really, really confused. But yes, you can get protein from things like chickpeas, broccoli, spinach, kale, things, fruits, and you got to think about it. I love to give examples. I'm a big example person.
Yes,
But
please.
let's just think about the biggest, strongest animals in the ecosystem. Let's talk
hmm
about an ape, a gorilla. They
hmm
do not eat meat.
At
They
all.
eat vegetables. Let's talk about a horse. Let's talk about a giraffe. These
hmm
big, strong animals that do not eat meat, that are herbivores. Let's talk about it. And it's just like people's minds like are so quick to forget that there are some of the strongest animals in our ecosystem don't eat meat. It is
hmm
possible to get your protein from things other than meat. So honestly, like I said before, it's really about educating yourself. There are some things like when you do start to do the education, you will start to understand what you can't get from fruits and vegetables, or what won't give you the sufficient amount of vitamins from fruits and veggies. So when I say that, I'm talking about B12 specifically. So B12 is one of the vitamins where you can specifically get that from like fish and seafood.
hmm
And it is in vegetables, but there isn't a significant amount of it in vegetables. But you
hmm
could just take a B12 vitamin. There you
hmm
go. You
Fish
get
oil
your
pills.
B12. Yeah, fish oil pills, and you can get your, vitamin that way. So honestly, I just say, doing this lifestyle, you do want to take some time to educate yourself. But the problem is when you don't, you just spit out, stuff that's not true, and you give people false information. You deter people from doing something that might be really good for them. And what they say was good for the goose is not always good for the gander. Like what's for
Exactly.
me is for me. Like I'm the type of person where I don't force or project my ideas onto everybody, as far as like people will come to me and be like, "Yeah, Brittany, one day I'm gonna stop eating meat, or one day I'm gonna," and I'm like, "It's okay if you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to judge you.
I'm not
I'm not
judging
going,
you. I'm not
yeah, like
looking at you like,
at all." And I think people think that because, but you know what? People that don't eat meat kind of did it to themselves. So there is a society where, as though if you don't eat meat, they kind of think of themselves better, better
Mhm.
than people and they kind of a little snobbish or
Mhm.
whatever, but I'm not one of those people. So, none of my friends are vegan. I am the only one. None of them are. Now, will they eat my food? Yes. Will they go
Mhm.
to a vegan restaurant with me? Sure. But
Mhm.
they're not vegan. And I don't judge them for that. If you want to continue to eat meat, that is your decision. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That has nothing to do with me. So, definitely, I just want to be clear. Like, just because I don't eat meat does not mean I judge people who do. You can do what you want. It's fine.
No,
It's
that's what's
okay.
up. That's what's up. You
Yeah.
know, I'm a my some of my family members that are vegan, they can take some tips from you because they are those type of people. Which I don't judge them
It
for
turns
because
you off.
it does, and everything. And I feel like that's why I've been I'm not even gonna say like I've been against it because I knew I wanted to do it all my life, and I had to remind them I'm the one that started all this. When I went pescatarian, that's
Right.
when people went and did the vegan stuff and everything. So sometimes I have to remind people, but it is about how you say things and everything because there are people who look down on people who do still eat meat and everything.
Yeah.
That's good, and
Yeah.
that goes to show your character that you're able to still exist with people who eat meat and everything, and you don't
Yeah.
let it affect you or your lifestyle at all.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's good. So now I want to ask you about this because I actually did do your juice cleanse. I want to say I did the
You
three
did.
day or four. I did the 3 day. I did the
The
three
three
day
day.
cleanse.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
and if I'm being very honest, I made it to 2 days, and I gotta tell you why I made it to 2 days. But for those that's inquiring about juicing, can you just tell us why it's important for us as a culture, but as people to juice?
Yes. So juicing. Whew, I have a lot to say on this subject, but I'ma
Hmm.
just compile it real quick. But
Yeah.
juicing, to keep it short and simple, is just a really, really great way to get nutrients into the body. It's really great for detoxing, it's really great for weight loss. It's just really good for the body. A lot of the times, just on the average human, we don't consume enough fruits and vegetables. We don't, especially vegetables. A lot of people don't. So with juicing, it gives you the opportunity to drink those nutrients and not feel like it's a chore to chew some kale or to bite a carrot or, to have those vegetables in that raw form. You can just juice it, you can extract that, and you can drink it.
Mhm.
So, that the benefits of juicing is just amazing. And I feel like it makes it simpler and more user friendly, if you could say, in a way for
Mhm.
people to get those nutrients down. As a culture, child, we need it. We need
We
it
do.
because when it comes to just Black people in general, we all know that we are plagued with disease, specifically diabetes, high blood pressure, things of that nature, and it's in the food that we eat.
Mhm.
And I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to sit there and tell you that it's not hereditary. But what I will say is that a big portion of our issues come from what we eat. What we
Mhm.
put into our body, we are what we eat.
Mhm.
So, just I do want to just touch on like me even opening up the juice bar, like putting it in Chester was strategic for me
Mhm.
because it and it was strategic and it was personal because there isn't a walk-in juice bar in this entire city.
At all.
And it is a food desert. And a lot of people don't know that Chester is a food desert, which just means that you have to go outside of the community to find health conscious food.
Mhm.
You're not going to find that within Chester City. When anytime you have a surplus of Chinese stores and the poppy
Family
stores and the
dollars.
Family Dollars, they want to keep you where you are. They don't want you to be like, you know what? I need to wake up and have a healthy smoothie today. I need to, really think about what I'm eating. No, they want to keep you where you at. So, just the lack of health conscious foods in Chester is a problem. And it's not to say that you can't like what you like, but it should be balanced. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you should be offered balance. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So it's one thing to you just make your decisions on your own. Of course, if you want to go ahead and eat Chinese food every day, no disrespect to the Chinese food, but if you want to go ahead and eat Chinese food every day, so be it. But when you live in a community, specifically a city, because Chester is a city,
Hmm.
and you don't have access to different types of resources as far as your food is concerned, that's a problem.
A big
You know what I'm
problem.
saying? Because it is a poverty stricken city. So, yeah, putting the juice bar here was personal for me because it was necessary. I felt like it was very necessary. Now, it was funny because I became popular on YouTube for doing like vegan soul food, vegan, comfort food. But when I opened the juice bar, everybody was looking at me like, well, where the vegan comfort food at? And I was
I'm
like,
one of those people,
yeah.
but
They like, well, where the food? And I was like, it's coming. But the juice was personal for me because in my mind, it's like, okay, yeah, this is not something where I'm about to open this up and make $1 million off the rip because, this isn't something people are checking for. But this
right.
is something that I need to give people. This is necessary. And if I could just show people that they need this, then it will fulfill me. It will make me feel
Hmm.
like I'm doing something that's purposeful. Yeah, I could give y'all something fried. Yeah, I could give y'all some vegan mac and cheese, the carbs, the sweet, all I can give y'all that. And I will. But I want to give y'all balance. I wanted to ensure that I was giving something to the community that was needed and necessary, even if they didn't think it was.
Hmm. No,
So
that's
that's
good.
where, yeah, that's where it came about.
That's good. And then I just want to go back to what you were saying because I have been I have been someone that has been making awareness about the food desert in Chester because you touched on it. They took away the option for some people. Like some people because they would say, well, anytime we put like a healthy food market here, don't nobody go there to it. And that was their way of justifying of taking it away. But for me, it's like you're taking
Yeah,
away the option for some people. Like, okay, there might be some people that still might just go to McDonald's anyway, but to still have the option to me is very necessary, you know.
right,
And they got rid of the one in Woodland or whatever. You feel me?
right,
Amelia's or something like that. So now we're really a desert and everything,
right.
you know. And it's good that you thought you didn't think about the money. You thought about the people because you could have put your food straight out, and then
I could
I'm
have just
pretty
did the
sure
food.
exactly, and I'm pretty sure that it probably would have blew up way quicker than what the juice did. But I do feel like people caught on to the juices because eventually
Yeah,
I caught on to the juices. I wasn't checking for no juices at first, but eventually when
right,
you know better, you kind of want to do better. And then the fact that you were there, I was able to do the cleanse. Had you not been there, I probably would have never did it, or I probably would have did it all
right.
wrong. You know, so thank you for actually thinking of the people and not thinking about your pockets in that moment. But we do want some soul food.
Yeah. So it's coming. It's coming. It's definitely coming. But you absolutely right. Like, but it's so crazy because for me, it's never been about the money. Never been about the money.
Mhm.
Like, um, I'm more so like if this is what I'm called to do, and if I feel passionate in my heart that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, the money will come. You know what
Facts.
I'm saying? And it's not to say that I'm out here shortchanging myself because keep it real, I got bills too, just like everybody
Mhm.
else. But at the same time, it's like, I got morals. I got
Mhm.
morals and I got things that I live by. So it was important to me for sure.
Nah, facts, facts. Before we get to the YouTube, because I'm getting to that, I want to ask this last question. I want to ask it right though, because I don't want people to make you out to be something. Because now you know the past year we went through this whole pandemic, and now
Yep.
they're pushing like these vaccines on people. And I know
Yep.
for me, wanting to do the juicing, I did my research. I know that taking care of my immune system can be better beneficial to my body than a vaccine that I don't know what's going to happen. What are your thoughts about the vaccine and the people who may look down on people that take the natural route and do like immune shots or wellness boost shots or different things like that? Like, what are your thoughts
Yeah.
about doing it that way and then people trying to kind of shove this vaccine down people's throats? If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Um, Let me just start by saying that I am not for the
Anti-vaxxer.
vaccine. I
All
am an
right.
anti-vaxxer.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's good. I
However,
wanted to save you. That's good. Sorry.
yeah, yeah. No, it's a no for me.
Hmm.
However, I do respect people's decision to get it. I do.
Mhm.
I respect anybody's decision to do what they feel as though is right for them. I'm never going to judge anybody for getting the vaccine or feeling like that was the right thing for them to do. If you feel like that was the best thing for you to do for you and your family or for you and your body, then by all means, get like my mom got the vaccine. I know I have people in my life directly in my life who have got the vaccine and I don't take anything away from them. I don't judge them. Me personally, I've always stuck by you need to build your immune system. I don't take anything. I have not gotten the flu shot. I don't even take Advil or aspirin. If
Me
I get a
neither.
headache, yeah, if I get a headache, I'm like, I need to drink water. I'm dehydrated. You know what I'm saying? Like it is very rare, and let's not go on wood because I am not in any way a saint, but I rarely get sick. I rarely get sick because I'm constantly putting stuff in my body to build my immune system. And so far, my body has treated me well. But yeah, it's very rare that I get sick. Very rare.
Mhm.
And the thing that I just feel like, just the pharmaceutical company in general, we all know is big business. They're
Facts.
not out to help you, build up a better body. They're out to suppress your symptoms and keep you dependent on these drugs. Let's be clear.
Tell them again.
So, yeah, so it's just like for me and in my home, it's a no. It's a no. But like I said, I respect anybody's opinion, but when it comes down to just taking things to suppress symptoms, it just doesn't seem like the best thing for me. I just feel like I work better when I do things to build my immune system. Like you got to take care of the stuff inside you. You shooting yourself up with things that's not natural, and you can't control the effects of that years down the line. You just never know. We never really know what that is. And a
Mhm.
lot of people will say, well, you don't know what this is, and you don't know what that is. And you're right. But at the same time, if I want to choose to make a conscious decision about something specific, I'm well within my rights to do that. So, yeah, vaccine is a no. It's a no.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's a no for me too. You feel me? I'm the same exact way because I do feel like a lot of people, because my mom got the vaccine too and everything. So I understand where you at with it. I'm the same way. I don't judge people, but nowadays I feel like that's the new discrimination because if you didn't get vaccinated,
Yeah,
it's almost like you're being discriminated against, or they're coming up with all these incentives to make people
yeah,
want to get it. And it's like, okay, for me now, y'all bribing people, and to me that's like borderline illegal, but I
yeah,
see that y'all trying to do, you're trying to control the narrative and everything. So for me, I'm with you 100% on that. And also, I feel like a lot of people didn't get it because they genuinely wanted it. They did it because their job, like they
yeah,
didn't like do the research themselves. They did it because of the pressure of
yeah.
where I don't want to get nobody else sick and everything. So a lot of people didn't get it because they wanted to, but more so they felt like they had to and
Right,
everything. You
right.
know.
Yeah, that's true. I would say that was the case, especially for my mom. Like she felt like, okay, if I get this vaccine, because I just had a baby recently, so it's like, all right, if
Hmm.
I get the vaccine, I could come around my grandson and be around people and not be fearful, And she's older, so with
Hmm.
them saying that the virus was specifically attacking people with autoimmune diseases and like elderly people, it was just like, oh no, I'm getting a vaccine because they ain't coming for me. So
Facts.
I understood her decision. But yeah, like you said, everybody, different people have reasons for getting it, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, over here it's not the case.
Facts, facts. Fortunately, you didn't get
Fortunately,
it. Yeah, fortunately,
fortunately,
you didn't get it.
yeah.
Nah, definitely. All right, so I definitely want to get into the whole YouTube channel thing because again, I'm one of those people. I watch you number one because we're from
Thank
the same
you.
city, but
Yeah,
number
thank
two, it's
you.
just good to see someone who look like me that's promoting healthy eating, and I love your commentary. So the first thing I
Thank
want to ask,
you.
you're welcome. The first thing I want to ask before we deep into the dig deep into the actual YouTube videos, would you ever be interested in doing like a cooking show or anything like that? Because I feel like you got the personality. I feel like again, your commentary is dope, and then you got the content. Is that something that you could? Is that something you could see yourself doing, or is that even a goal for you?
You know what? The crazy thing is, I have crazy stage fright. Like I get super nervous and uncomfortable when I'm in front of a crowd of people. And so many people cannot understand it about me because they're like, you're so outgoing and bubbly.
Right.
And I'm like, child, when I'm in front of a group of people, I'm like, I get stuck. Like I get so nervous. Like I'm like, am I going to say the right things? Am I going to do the right things? Like I don't want to like draw a blank. Like I get so nervous and it's crazy because I really don't like a lot of attention. Like I toggle back and forth a lot with the YouTube channel because it was picking up steam so fast. And then so many people were like looking at me like I was like a celebrity. And I'm like, I am just regular. Like I am a regular person living a regular life. Like I am chilling. And it was just like it was overwhelming for me. Like I feel like ever since I started YouTube, like my anxiety has been like through the roof. So for a cooking show, I feel like if I was to ever do that, I would have to really talk myself into it because one thing about me is that like I don't like turning down opportunities because of my fears. I like to
Mhm.
overcome them.
Facts.
But I'm not perfect either. So sometimes I'll be like, nah, this is too overwhelming for me. But I really beat myself up when I do turn stuff down because of it. Because I'm like, dang, if I would have just been more confident, I would have just went through with it. So I
Mhm.
like to call like when I'm like on and like you do see me in front of people like talking and interacting. I kind of attribute it to like Beyonce when she get on stage and she
Sasha
Sasha Fierce.
Fierce. Uh-huh.
That's what I kind of attribute it to because I'm it's weird because like when I'm like kind of introverted, but if I gotta be in front of somebody talking, I just it clicks right on, and it's just like I'm bubbly, I'm outgoing, I'm outspoken, I'm just you know I'm this outgoing person, but I'm really kind of like introverted. It's
Mhm.
weird. It's weird.
No,
I can't
I get
explain it.
it. No, I get it. I get it. That's exactly me. And then I didn't necessarily get that vibe from you when I had did the questions at the Chester's hot seat where you had came to. You felt very confident, and then you were definitely you gave great ass answers. Definitely, you feel
Thank
me?
you.
But I get it. It's something I'm the same exact way. But for me, when it be in this field, it's like when this light come on, I gotta do this. It's like a whole other person come on. So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm nervous, I'm scared, but I gotta do what I gotta do
I'm gonna act
to
like
get
I'm
it
not.
done.
But it's so
Exactly.
crazy that you bring up the Chester High seat because I was super nervous. And the only thing I kept thinking in my mind was like, oh my God, I'm so glad that he didn't ask me the question first. So now I got time to rehearse the answer in my mind. So that
Facts.
way I could say it and not stumble or not stutter or not like I was sweating bullets. I was just like, oh my God. Like me answering questions on the spot about like current events and I was just like, I just want to make sure that I'm answering in a way that's authentic to me, but in a way
Mhm.
that like I don't sound crazy. I was in my mind. I came off really confident, but let me tell you, I was in my mind while everybody else. I wasn't even listening to what they were saying
Facts.
when they was
Facts.
answering the question. I wasn't even listening to them, and the whole time I'm just rehearsing. All right, this is what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say. Yeah, I am like I get super nervous, but Child, I'm a person of faith. I believe in God, and if I push
Mhm.
through stuff, it's gonna go right. That's how I feel.
Facts. And that's exactly what you did because again, I didn't get that vibe from you. And trust me, I get that. Doing this, I don't even get to always hear like the answers thoroughly until I watch it back because I'm focusing on asking what I gotta ask you next and everything. So trust me, I get that
Yeah.
completely. I get that completely. So with the YouTube channel, it's interesting because you just explained that you don't like attention. You're kind of introverted. So how did you even come up with like starting a YouTube channel? Like
So,
what made you do that?
all right. So I'm gonna try to shorten this. So first thing, so what happened was that I was cooking, of course. I went vegan.
Mhm.
I had been vegan maybe for about a year or so, and I was seeing these videos on Facebook of I don't know if you've seen like the tasty videos or I think it's called Delicious, and they basically just had the aerial view of the pot, and they would show them making like a dish real quick and put in
Mhm.
a little instructions. And I was like, dang, that's such a good idea. Like I should do that for my vegan dishes. And so I actually started off putting them on Facebook. I didn't have any work, like I was not talking. It was all background music. Like I would pick a dope song that I liked at the time. I would put the words would just pop up with the directions underneath the video so you knew exactly what I was doing. I put the measurements and everything. And I didn't talk at all. Because I felt like when I felt like my voice was annoying. This is how much I'm an introvert, and people have no idea. I was like, my voice is annoying. I'm not going to talk in these videos. Like, this is ridiculous. No, I'm not. So then I forget, somebody said something like you should talk in the videos. I forget who told me that. And I was like, no, like I don't want to talk in my videos. So I don't even know what came over me to just try it. But I think one day I tried it and I was like, you know what? The only way I'm going to feel comfortable doing this is if I talk like I'm talking to a friend. So I was talking, I was just explaining it like I would explain it to a friend. So I posted the video. And people were like, "Oh my God, you are so funny." Like, and I'm like, "I am?" They like, "Girl, yeah, you hilarious." I'm like, "For real?"
I
They
agree.
like, "Yeah, I was cracking up." They was like, "You had me hungry and educated at the same time." Like, you was explaining it perfectly, but I was laughing too. And I was like, "For real?" And I didn't think nothing. Like, I literally posted that first video and didn't think nothing of it. I was just like, I'm just going to talk to a friend. And then somebody commented on a one of my videos and was like, "Girl, why are you putting this on Facebook? If you don't put this on YouTube and make some money." And I was like, "YouTube," but I was like, "Nah, I don't feel like doing all that." Like, then
Mhm.
I feel like I gotta really have my editing on point. Like, I gotta really like have everything polished and like, like just super on point. Like, I just felt like I couldn't just post it
Mhm.
like I was on Facebook. And I thought about it, and then me and a friend of mine, we were talking about it, and she was at the time starting a YouTube channel too. So she was like, "Girl, we should just do it together. Like, let's just both go for it." And then we
Facts.
ended up watching a YouTube video where the girl was giving advice on how to start a YouTube channel, and she was like, "Just start it. Like,
Mhm.
don't think so much into it. Do not work yourself up trying to get everything perfect." She was like, "I started out just filming on my phone. I didn't have all this equipment." She was like, "There's no point in investing in all this equipment if you don't even know if you're going to stick with it." She was like, "So just start out with what you have. Maybe get you a little tripod, but just start out with what you have." And I was just like, I sent the videos to my friend. I was like, "Girl, let's just go for it." So
Mhm.
I put up my first video. And I was so nervous, man. I know my whole house was sick of me because I was like, "Watch my video. Watch my video." I was like, "Watch my video. Do I sound annoying?" I was like, "Watch my video. What you think?" And all I could think, and it wasn't even about the views. I didn't even care how many views I got. All I cared about was, did I sound annoying? Did you enjoy it? And everybody was like, "Yeah, it's cool. Like, what are you talking about? It's cool." And I'm just sitting there trying, my anxiety through the roof. I'm like, "Oh my God, it's on YouTube. Everybody going to see it now." Like, I can't.
There's no turning
So
back.
it was no turning back. So people started really watching it. And I think my first video, it had like 100 views, nothing crazy. It was just like, and I was like, all right, like I got 100 views. It took a while to get the 100 views. Let me be clear.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah.
was a lot.
No, thank you. And just to add on to that, did it take for you to like start to get the views and like until it started the pop off, or I would say to get the views basically because some people get discouraged. So how long were you doing it? Like was it like a year in, 2 years in until it started to
So
gain traction?
it took off pretty quick, and I'm gonna tell you why. It took off pretty quick because what I did was, prior to me starting a YouTube channel, I had started joining these communities in Facebook. You know how it's a bunch of like Facebook groups.
Yeah.
So I
Hmm.
started joining a bunch of Black vegan Facebook group. Like, my
Hmm.
audience was specific. I was like, if I'm gonna do this, because that was my whole thing. Like, I was so back and forth with YouTube. I was so in my head about it. And I was just like, you know what? If I'm gonna do this, I am going to be myself. I'm not gonna be anybody else. I'm not gonna create a character. I'm not going to fake the funk. I'm not gonna just, basically I'm just not going to create a character to do this. Like, I have to be myself in order to do this. So I was in a bunch of Facebook groups, vegan Facebook groups, and I was like, you know what? I could just post my video on there and get them to watch it, because people would post their recipes and stuff like that, like things that they were cooking. And I was just like, you know what? I'll just post it in there. So I posted, like, anytime I would create a video, I would post it in all the groups, all the
Hmm.
groups. So in my mind, I was like, you know what? People eat with their eyes. People do not care what it sound like, what you sound like, what the recipes say. They eat with their eyes. So I started taking like really dope shots and photos and getting the
Mhm.
lighting, like making sure the lighting was right, making sure the composition of the picture was right, or whatever. And literally, once I would post a picture, people would be like, "Where the recipe for this at? Oh my God, this looks so good." And I would drop the link to the video. So I literally was in like 10 vegan Facebook groups, and I would drop it in every single one. Every time I dropped a video, I dropped a picture. And I did it in every group. And that was how my YouTube popped off. So for me, like when people ask me for advice, I feel like everybody's road to being where they want to be on YouTube is different. For me, it was marketing. It was marketing.
Mhm.
And I don't have any type of marketing degree. Let's be clear. I don't have a marketing degree, but I knew that people eat with their eyes. And then once I started taking pictures, I was like, well, let me go back and like look at my pictures. So then I started to look up YouTube videos on food photography,
Mhm.
placing props and this and the third. So if you're just on my Instagram, if you're on my YouTube, if you look at like my first video compared to like my most recent and like looking at the photos, you can see the growth and
Mhm.
like how my first picture looked compared to like my most recent picture. It's a drastic difference when it
Mhm.
comes to like lighting and plating props, having like the blurred backgrounds and everything. Everything is strategic. So yeah, for me, the reason why I blew up on YouTube the way I did was because one, I identified my audience. I found them because let's be
Mhm.
clear, it's not a lot of black vegans. It is now, but at
Facts.
that time it was not a lot of black vegans. But I identified my audience. I went and found them, and I just started showing them what I had. And I just from there it was word of mouth. It was just wildfire. Like it went from, oh, I get 100 views in a month or two to I got 1,000 in one day
Mhm.
in a few hours. So it really took off because one thing I noticed and what was the ultimate deciding factor for me doing YouTube was that I went on YouTube and I typed in black vegan YouTubers, simple. And I noticed that it was nobody on YouTube like me. Not one
Wow.
person.
Mhm.
No one looked like me. No one talked like me. No one cooked like me. And
Mhm.
I was just like, there's a void. There's a void. Why isn't that there's somebody on YouTube that looks like me, talks like me, and cooks like me that can relate to, all these people out there who are probably vegan or want to become vegan. And
Mhm.
I feel like for me, the reason why I took off was so fast was because I filled a void in the
Mhm.
YouTube community that wasn't there. There was just it just wasn't, and I'm not saying this because I'm arrogant or anything like that, but it just wasn't anybody like me on YouTube doing vegan food. Like, of course, it was a bunch of Caucasian people, and
Facts.
but
Seasonless
it
vegan
wasn't,
food.
yeah, simple, they had their quinoa bowls and their smoothie bowls and stuff. But it wasn't anybody on YouTube cooking with soul.
Mhm.
So that was what was my ultimate deciding factor. I was like, you know what? This is bigger than me. Like, I need to do this. I need to do this. And from there, it took off. And then after that, I was strategic about my timing. So 4th of July was rolling around or Memorial Day was rolling around. I'm dropping a barbecue video.
Mhm.
The Popeyes chicken sandwich came out. Boom. I got a Popeyes chicken sandwich too.
Mhm.
It's the holidays rolling around. Boom. Y'all got a Thanksgiving Day video.
Mhm.
It's the what was it? Valentine's Day. Boom. Let me show you how to do some desserts for two or
Mhm.
something.
Facts.
So my timing, like that marketing aspect, it's important because you need to put yourself in the mind of the consumer. What do
Mhm.
people want? And then another thing, when it comes to cooking videos, I basically put myself in the mind of the viewer. When
Mhm.
I watch a cooking video, I do not want to hear you talk for 5 minutes about why you came up with this recipe, your grandma, who inspired you. I don't care, sis. Show me
Facts.
how to cook it. Show me what to do. Give me the ingredients and show me what you did because the thumbnail looked bomb. So I want to know what you did. Now, for you to
Mhm.
spend 5 minutes talking, I'm already not engaged. I'm already
Exactly.
clicking on something else. I'm distracted. My
Attention
attention
spans
span is short.
assured. Facts. Facts. Attention spans assured, especially this
Yup.
new generation. Guys,
Yep.
you gotta
So
catch them.
yep, especially with food videos. So when I started doing the commentary in my food videos, I was like, you know what? When I watch other food videos or cooking videos, they're boring. Let's be
Right.
clear. Like no shade, but they're boring because
Mhm.
they're specifically just telling you what to do. Um, but I was like, you know what? I gotta set myself apart, and I'm gonna talk like I'm talking to one of my girlfriends, and
Mhm.
that's how it came about. So staying true to myself, having good timing, knowing my audience, and being consistent. I was uploading every week. I was engaging all the time. I was answering questions. I was engaged, and I didn't let up. I ain't
Mhm.
let up. I kept my foot on their necks. Like I did not let up. I gave you a video every week and it was always something innovative and creative. I would sit and anytime I would think of an idea, I have a whole book full of recipes. Every
Mhm.
time I would come up with an idea, I would jot it down. Like,
Mhm.
oh, what about what was one of the ones I did? Oh, what about a vegan um a lettuce taco,
Mhm.
a vegan fish lettuce taco. Ain't
Mhm.
nobody do that. Then what I would do is I would go to YouTube, I would type in to see if anybody did it. And I'd be like, dang, ain't nobody even do it.
Yeah.
Let me hurry
Dang.
up.
Let me get on
Let
this
me
real
hurry up.
quick. No,
Yep.
that
So
is what's
sometimes I
up.
would do renditions and then sometimes I would just come up with it on my own. But yeah, it's a lot of different factors. It's a lot of
Mhm.
different factors.
No, thank you. Listen, thank you so much because number one, you dropped a few Jews there that I hope people catch. I caught them. And I learned this from our conversation, and I had interview Shalir from G Styles, and y'all
Okay.
both talked about marketing because people say you have the product, but if you don't market it, then it's
It
not
don't
going to get out there
matter.
to people. You feel me? It don't matter. You're just going to be sitting on product, or in your case, you're going to be sitting on all this knowledge, this vegan knowledge, but the marketing is good. And I like how you took thirst trap to another level because you thirst trapped them by the food. You didn't have
Yep.
to, demean yourself in any way. You thirst trapped them by the food. Oh, that look good. Let me click it. That's how I got on a lot of your videos. I'm like, oh, that look good. You don't know how
Yep.
many times I didn't watch your macaroni and cheese video, and this bring me to my next question because I seen Monique, the queen of comedy, Monique, y'all.
Yes.
The queen of comedy, Monique actually tried your vegan recipe. Number one, how did that happen? How did you feel when she shouted you out? Like, just how
Child,
did you feel through that experience?
I don't even know how it, this is the powerful thing. And let me just go on record to say this is the most powerful thing about the internet and social media. Child, I didn't even solicit that. I had no part in her finding that video. She found that and did that and posted that on her own. And a great thing about YouTube is that your creative content, your intellectual property, so to say, will always be there. Once you post it and you have it up there, whether it blow up now or 5 years from now, it is there. I made that video last year. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
She found it months later. I done forgot about it, to be honest. And it was so crazy because people were tagging me and they were just like, oh, this was up. And I'm just looking and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, why is people tagging me in this? Because I was seeing people were putting it in their stories.
Mhm.
I was like, what are they talking about? Child, I went on my Instagram. It was blowing up, blowing up, blowing up. I was getting all these followers. I'm like, what is going on? I was confused. I didn't even know what was happening. I'm like, what is going on? And then I had seen, I had actually stopped to look at one and it said Monique. And I was like, so Monique just gonna go ahead and make somebody else making cheese? And why are they tagging me in this?
Right.
So I was like, really, I was confused. So I clicked on it and it was like crab making cheese. I was like, vegan? I got vegan crab making cheese. Like, I'm really feeling some tight because I'm like, why would somebody tag me and her making somebody else vegan making
Exactly.
cheese?
I don't give a damn about this.
So I was like, something told me like, Brittany, just watch the video, just relax, watch the video. So I'm watching the video, and then when she said, yeah, it was by a sister named Bforeal, I was like, oh, that's me, me. I was like, yo, I literally gained like 4,000 followers overnight. Overnight.
Wow.
Like that video blew up. Like I think I don't even know what number it said on her page, but
Yeah.
it was insane. Like all these people started following me out of nowhere. Child Tamar Braxton followed me, Monique following
Hey.
me. Like this, it was.
Hey.
I was like, I'm little old me. Like I'm just in Chester chilling. I ain't doing that.
Facts.
And I was just floored. So I immediately told my mom, I was like, Mom, Monique, Queen for Comedy Monique, Miss Parker Monique, why she know who I am?
Nikki Parker. Nikki Parker.
Child, people was like, you should send her something. I'm like, well, what I'm going to say? I ain't even got nothing to send her. Because at the time, was I doing the juice bar yet? I don't remember. I think we had just opened it. I was like, I can't send her no juice because ain't like because I'm not shipping it right now. So I'm like,
Mhm.
ain't like I could send her the juice because if she get it and she post it, I can't give it to nobody else. So I was like,
Exactly.
that don't make sense. So people were just trying to find out ways to how I could like continue the relationship or whatever.
Mhm.
And I was like, honestly, this is enough for me. Like,
Yeah.
me being introvert, I'm like, it's okay. This is
The
enough.
acknowledgement of it all.
Yeah, the acknowledgement alone was enough for me. Like, I didn't need anything else. And then I commented and was just like, oh my God, like, I cannot believe you made my like recipe that I sat down in my kitchen and created. And she was
Mhm.
like, yeah, it was good. I'm gonna make all of them. I was like, ah, that was enough for me. That was
That's
enough. I
what's
was good after
up.
that. So yeah, it that happened, and I'm happy to say that it happened organically. I didn't
Mhm.
do anything for that to happen. She just I guess recently she's been dabbling in vegan food and eating plant based. So that was how she found me, just from her own research and wanting to, make different dishes for her and her family. So it was organic and it was super dope. It was super dope. And it's a little bittersweet because around that time I was so immersed in the juice bar that I couldn't like really engage with everything that was happening at the time
Mhm.
because I haven't really been on my Instagram, the Bforeal Instagram, and I haven't been on YouTube since February
Mhm.
because once I started the juice bar, it literally just grew legs and that
Mhm.
thing was just taking off and it required my full attention to be able to scale and to be able to ensure that things are running properly. And let's just call a spade a spade. I am a new entrepreneur. This is my first go around at this. I am not perfect. I don't know everything. So it really required all of my attention to be dedicated to the juice bar and just to make sure that we are doing things the right way. And so it required me to take a step back from YouTube. I do plan to go back. I definitely
Mhm.
plan to go back because I miss it. But it required me to put YouTube on the back burner.
Mhm.
So yeah, being a full time entrepreneur, it ain't no 9 to 5. It's
Facts.
24/8.
24 so
Ain't even
is
24/7. It's
exactly.
24/8. So
Exactly.
yeah, that happened organically.
That is what's up. That's what's up. Listen, I know that had to be great. And then me and you got a actual connection because even though Tamar followed you, I actually got the chance to interview Tamar and to actually ask her. Well, my
Ooh.
mentor, Jason Lee, he on Hollywood Unlocked.
Yeah, yeah,
I be
yeah.
yeah, I be on his show and I got to ask her one question, but still, you feel me? I got the
That's
interview right and
dope.
everything. You feel me? So trust me, I know that
Yeah.
feeling of being able to interact with celebrities, people that you wouldn't even think would give you the time of day. So
Right.
trust me, everything that's happening to you is happening for a reason. You feel me? Like it's happening for a reason. And then I know you're living your life, so you don't see the impact that you're having on people like me or just people around you. But trust me, like continue this great journey because it's really inspiring
Thank
a lot of
you.
people and seeing what you're doing, especially with the YouTube. Like, trust me, that's 100% dope and everything. And
Thank
again,
you.
even when it came down to you taking a break from YouTube a little bit, like, did you ever think about like somebody vlogging you at your store until you get back to the recipes?
Yo, it's so crazy because so many people have said that. They were just like, well, why don't you just do like your day to day at the shop and like what you do? And for me, just like taking the analytics from my channel, I just feel like people want to see food. Like they want to see a recipe. They just want to see food. Like they're so used to me posting food and giving them a recipe. I just don't know how they would react to a vlog. But I have to give it a try. I think I
Facts,
have to
yeah,
give it a
I
try.
tell you, as a fan, and I told you this earlier in the interview, your commentary, your personality. Now I would tune in
Oh yeah.
other than just the food because people are nosy. So people would like to see, well, what does she do in her everyday life? So trust me,
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that can attest to the fact that yes, I love to see the food, but also getting to know a little bit more about you, your background, and what you do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure people will be interested in that as well. So I think it'd be a hit. And I'm actually
Thank
a fan of the
you.
YouTube channel and the page and
Thank you
everything.
so
So
much.
you're welcome. Listen, I feel like we got to give props when it's due and flowers when it's due and everything. And
Thank
you
you.
definitely deserve those for sure. Definitely.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
great. It's great for sure. I got a couple more questions. I'm sorry because I normally only go to an hour, but you've been so interesting that
Thank you.
I continue to go forward. No, thank you so much for being so gracious. I got a question. So what is one of your favorite dishes or one of your favorite videos that you've made so far? Because I can
Mm.
tell you for me, I brought up the macaroni and cheese one because in black culture that's like the heart of the
Yeah, that's
soul
the end
food
all be
meal.
all.
Exactly. So I love your macaroni and cheese video. I love the vegan tacos things you had made with the little dip sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Of course
Yep.
the crab fry video, and it's another one that's not coming to me right now, but it ain't about me. What do you? What's your favorite video that you did, or your favorite dish to make?
My favorite video that I did. Ooh, what was my favorite video? Um, that is a great question. Nobody has ever asked me that before.
That's what's
Sheesh.
up.
What was the favorite? Child, I feel like I gotta look at all the video. I be forgetting what I done did. Um, I want to say one of my favorites was one of my favorites to make, like to eat, like one of my favorites was definitely the tacos.
Hmm.
Definitely the birria tacos.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
They were they're just so good. They're so good. Like that
Hmm.
flavor is unmatched. And the fact that the base of that flavor is just like peppers is
Hmm.
so good. Um I'm looking at the list now. What was one of my favorite videos? Oh,
No, that's good.
it's it's hard to pick. Oh my god, it's hard to pick. I think, and only because I thought it was funny. I don't know how funny other people thought it was, but part of me really really enjoyed doing the game day vegan sausage and veggie. What was it? The vegan sausage and veggie pizza rings.
Uh-huh.
I made pizza rings, and I thought it was funny because child, that was when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Because I was just in there that whole video talking trash. Like I was sitting in my computer chair. This is back when I was working at my job. Child, I was sitting in my computer chair just to talking trash. Had the jersey on. You couldn't tell me nothing. And so that was a really really fun video to do. Um, After that, I would have to say the vegan chicken wings. The vegan chicken wings that I made, the vegan chicken wings 3 ways. It was so funny because in the video, and I didn't even think nothing of it at the time, but in the commentary, I was like, I said something along the lines of like, man, this chicken looks so good, yo. I was like, matter of fact, bow your heads. So people was, I was like, we need to say a prayer. People was in the comments like, why did I really bow my head like when you
Alhamdulillah.
said it? Yup, child. So it's crazy. It's really hard to like really, really say for sure because I really enjoy doing all of them. Like I
Hmm.
really enjoy just talking about what I'm doing, educating people, letting people know the ingredients and giving it in a way where it's digestible. It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be like, oh, here she go with she
Hmm.
about to just show me what to do. Like you just getting through it because it's a chore.
Just
You just want to
just skimming
see,
through it, yeah,
yeah, you
as
skimming through it
opposed to
because you want to
enjoying it.
see, yeah, you want to see how it was made, but you're not really enjoying it. I love the fact that people enjoy the content.
You're
That matters.
entertaining. You're
Thank
you're
you.
yes, you're entertaining, and I
I
love
would have
when you
never
say
thought.
facts. I love when you say ancestor shimmy. I love it because that's what we do. Like we don't. You be like, listen, we don't measure. You just go off of till my ancestors tell me stop. That's
Okay,
how
that's
we
it.
do it. We don't
That's
measure
it.
nothing. And that's what I like about it. It's so relatable and it's so real. It's not like you telling me to get a teaspoon of this because I'm gonna be like, girl,
Right,
man, I ain't got time for that little, because then I'm about to be talking crap like, oh, that food bland. But like you said, it's
right,
you tell people it's on your liking, and you're not telling people or dictating people to put this much. You're basically saying go with
right.
your gut feeling. So trust me, I love the whole ancestor shimmy thing. Keep that. That's
Yeah.
gonna be a
It was
great quote
so
for you.
crazy because I literally like I don't even know what possessed me to say that. I was just like, you know what? This is the ancestor shimmy. Like I don't even know what possessed me. I have no idea what possessed me to say that.
All right. So all right, so I got two more questions for you. Then I'm gonna definitely, let you
Yeah,
go.
no
I might,
problem. I
yeah.
like talking.
No, I like talking. I like talking too, and everything. I talk to you all day. I know when I post this, it's gonna have to be in two parts because I went past
Yeah.
the time I was supposed to go. So, my next question I want to ask you, what is the end goal, if there's any end goal? When I say that, because I kind of asked one of the questions too early about like if you want to do a cooking show. So like what's the end goal? Like you already got the store, you got the popping YouTube channel. She got over 100,000 subscribers. You feel me?
Mhm.
And then for some people, this may be their end game, but I know that you got more that you want to do. I know that you feel like
Yeah.
I'm just touching the concrete. So what's the end game? And when I say that, let's say like 5 year plan from now. I would say 10, but let's do 5 because we could get it done
Yeah.
at that.
So it's so crazy because I don't necessarily like it's so much that I want to do. I can't give all the seeds away. Hold on
Mhm.
one second. I'm just plugging in my charger because my laptop was down. That was my fault.
Yeah, no, you good,
Hold
you
on one
good.
second, one second, one second.
Yep, yep, no problem.
But yeah, so I actually want to eventually make my own wine. I want to have a
Okay.
vegan wine. That's something that's really, really dope and interesting to me. And it's so crazy. I don't even want to like draw it out, but I don't know if you've seen the Black Girl Magic wine
I did.
that
I
has
saw
been out.
it.
So they actually did an interview on a Breakfast Club, and that really
I
inspired
saw
me. And I was
that.
just, yeah, that
Hmm.
really inspired me. And I was
I
just
saw
like,
that.
dang,
How? I'm sorry, not even to cut you off, because I saw that same
no,
because
you good.
because Charlemagne is like like my idol. You
I
feel me? So I watch
me
everything he
too.
does. You feel me? He's my
Me
idol. So
too.
I like how with the Black Girl Magic, how they was discouraged to not name it Black Girl Magic because some people would be offended, but they wanted people to know that it was a black owned wine, and how for
Right,
so long with them being women as well that they didn't get the respect and they didn't make money
right,
for years, and then it
right.
finally happened for them. But I'm sorry, I took over the story. What you was about to say?
No,
I
no,
got
you
excited.
absolutely right. Child, I love Charlamagne. I hang on his every word.
Me too. I can't. It's
My
too far. I
boyfriend
got
be
both his
tired.
books. I got
He
both
be
his
tired of
books and
me.
everything.
I got both of his books. Child, I went to his book signing in Philly. I met him. Oh my God. And when I went up to go meet him, I was so nervous. I didn't know what to say. The whole time, my anxiety again. The whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, what do I say? What do I say? And child, when I got up there and he signed my book, the only thing I could think of, I was like, dang it, your handwriting terrible.
Oh my god! I can't believe you said that. I'll probably be
I
so
was
nervous.
so
I'll be the same amount of
I was
nervousness.
so nervous and I didn't know what to say. And he started filling out my book. And I was just like, your handwriting is terrible. And he was like, you know what? He was like, it's really funny you say that. I actually had to take a calligraphy class when I was a child. And I was just like, it ain't really, it ain't really help.
Ain't help at all. You like that? You really writing or you just scribbling? Cause I need them to know that this is from Charlemagne the God.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're familiar with Wax that be with him or whatever, but
I
Wax, he
am.
leaned over. Yeah, he leaned over and he looked in the book and he was like, yeah, it definitely don't look like it helped. So it was funny. It ended up being funny. We all laughed about it or whatever. Because I'm like,
That's
first of all, Ian Charlemagne always be coming at people next, so he could take a
he
joke.
do exactly. He definitely can. He definitely can. And it's good that you knew that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so it worked. Even though I kind of blurted it out, it worked. It worked.
Hmm.
But yeah, I digress. But yeah, so that really inspired me because I always wanted to do something along those lines. And to be able to do a vegan wine, I feel like would be so super dope. Now, in my mind, I know it's super ambitious, but I feel like I have like the tenacity and the drive to actually like see it through. So that's one of the things that like I really want to do. It is a couple of other things that I want to do, but I'm not going to talk about them just
Yeah,
yet.
don't drop them all. Don't drop
Yeah,
them all.
I ain't going to give away the bricks to the house. But
Facts.
yeah, so long term definitely that's something that I would love 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 to do. I'm definitely like a wine connoisseur and I'm one of them wine drinkers where like my friends hate when I come around with my bottle of wine because I'm always drinking. I don't drink anything that's like Moscato or like sweet red. Child,
Penny.
I be having my Cabernet. I be having my Merlot, child. They be like,
Zinfandel.
"Who are you?" I be coming around. I'm a 40-year-old woman. Like, I got my
Right.
glass. I'm real sophisticated. So yeah, I'm really a wine connoisseur. Like I love everything wine. I love, and I like the dry wine.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's definitely one of my long-term goals for sure.
That's good. That's good. Oh my God, I'm happy that you brought that up and everything because again, I think watching that interview might have been the same interview, just like how they taught so much people about like the different wines
Yeah.
and you know how sometimes I don't want to mess somebody's taste buds up, but sometimes feces get in wines and stuff. So
Yeah.
trust me,
Because they use
it's
fish. They use
exactly
fish
fish.
eggs to process it.
Exactly. Never knew that. Never would have known that.
Yep.
But that's why I tell people all the time the Breakfast Club is very informative. When I was on the Hollywood
Very.
Unlocked show and I was defending Charlemagne the God for the the same allegations that came out, people came at my
Yeah.
neck. I'm like, they are very informative. They don't kiss white people ass, but people that say that they don't truly know people like
They
Charlemagne and them
don't.
and everything. You feel me? Because they just going
Anytime
off what they
somebody
think.
say, yeah, anytime somebody say something bad about Charlamagne, it just proves to me that they don't listen to the show. I be like, they
Facts.
don't listen to the show because one thing he says is they have a balance between ratchet and righteousness. It
Facts.
is, and it is.
Hmm.
It's very informative, but they gonna give you the tea too. We gonna give
Exactly.
both.
You already know, definitely. Listen here. All right,
Yeah,
so my final question I definitely want to ask you, and I always like to end with questions like this because I feel like a lot of what we're doing, while some of it may be for us, for our family, a lot of it I'm pretty sure is to inspire people within our culture, younger people
yeah,
coming up, that they could be bigger than what we've been told we could be all our lives. A lot of times we've been
yeah,
the employee, but now we got someone like you who's an employer. You feel me?
yeah.
So what would you say to someone who is dreaming bigger than their city, but they may feel discouraged or don't feel like, they could possibly do it? Like, what words of encouragement would you give for somebody that's out there chasing a dream right now? I want to say little boys and little girls because I don't want to just make it
Yeah.
about one gender. What would you say to those people?
I would say stay consistent. Stay the course. What's going to happen is that when you first start out a dream, and I don't care who you are, when you first start out doing something that people may not understand or that people necessarily you feel like you're not getting the support, it's not going to come right away. It's not going to come. Unfortunately, people do not start to gravitate towards you until they feel like you're popular. It's
Mhm.
weird. And I don't want people to think that they have to be popular to be successful, but I do want you to know that if you stay the course and you stay consistent, you can get to where you want to be. And I don't want to use that line like you could be whatever you want to be because it is kind of cliche, but it's true.
It's true.
And one of the things I learned, because I listen to motivational speeches a lot, because, like I said before, I didn't have a lot of support when I first went vegan. So a lot of the things that I did in, just me doing like pop-up kitchens and stuff like that, that was a lot of me having to push through my own struggles and, motivating myself. Because a lot of people just didn't understand what I was doing. So one of the motivational speeches that I would listen to, and by the way, it's called Blessed and Unstoppable on YouTube, just in case
Hmm.
anybody wants to listen to it. But
Okay.
basically, the guy, he was saying like the only way that success can be paid for is with hard work. It does not matter the talent. It does not matter anything else. If you work hard and you remain consistent, you will get what you want. Period. The reason why people do not get to where they want to be in life is because they give up. They hit a hard patch, they hit a rough patch, and they get discouraged and they get deterred and they let their dreams fall by the wayside. You have to pay for success with hard work and consistency. That is it. You're not going to get there with just your talent alone because that goes back to what you were saying about marketing. You can have a dope product. You could be a dope person. You could be very talented, but if no one knows that you're talented because you decide that you don't want to show your talent anymore, no one's going to know. So you have to put in the daily deposit to get to where you want to be in life. Do not give up. It is not going to be easy. I am not about to sit here and sell nobody a fairy tale. It's not going to be easy. You're not always going to have the support. And when you do get the support, it's going to come from the most unlikely sources. It's
Hmm.
going to be strangers. It's going to be people miles away. It's going to be people in other states, other countries. Those are going to be the people who support you the most. So my number one tip is tips is to stay consistent and do the work. Do the work. Do the work. You are not going to get anything without doing the work. And one last thing I want to touch on is social media gives people the false perception that things come quick and easy. That is not true. You don't
Right.
know what is going on with people, and you don't know what's happening in people's real life. You don't know what struggles they had to overcome. You don't know what ladder or ladders they had to climb to get to where they are. All you see is the result of everything they've done to get to that point. So you don't see the behind the scenes. So when you see people sitting on the yacht, sipping a, cocktail, they in the Bahamas, they dressing fly, they looking cute. You don't know what they did to get there. Do not let social media dictate how quickly or not so quickly you get to success, because
Mhm.
it does not happen overnight. Let's be clear. I, own a juice bar today from the result of YouTube, but I started YouTube 4 years ago.
Mhm.
It took me 4 years to get to the juice bar.
Mhm.
So it does not happen overnight at all. And, my 4 years could be 10 years for someone else. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So I just really, really want to instill in if there's any person that's, just on the track to wanting to become an entrepreneur or pursue their dreams, just it's not going to happen overnight. But if you do the work and you stay consistent, you stay in people's face, and you hungry, like you are day in, day out fighting, like, this is what I got. This is my product. This is it. Because the minute you fall off, people forget about you.
Mhm.
We have short attention spans. And if today or tomorrow I don't see you doing what you used to do, I'm going to forget about it. I'm like, oh, he
Mhm.
don't do that no more. Move
Right.
on to the next thing.
Right.
So consistent, hard work. It don't come overnight at all.
Facts, facts. Listen, that was well said. I honestly took that
Thank you.
and everything, and trust me, I'm applying to my life and everything because I asked those questions for the youth, but I also asked those questions for myself. That's why I like to do this stuff.
Yeah,
I like to learn from other people. So the questions I ask is definitely things I feel like people want to know, but my own curiosities as well. So thank
yeah.
you. You don't know what you just did. You just
No
put
problem.
my energizer battery in me. So now it's time to apply
Yes.
that
Yeah.
pressure.
Keep going. Listen, keep going. Do not give up. Cause I think a lot of people look at me and they're like, oh, you didn't give up. Don't don't ever think it wasn't days that I didn't want to.
Hmm.
There's days that I'm like, "Ugh, I don't feel like getting up today. Like, I don't feel
Hmm.
like editing this video. I don't feel like posting this. I don't feel like asking. I don't feel like talking to people today.
Facts.
So it is going to be days where you don't feel like it. Don't be hard on yourself. If you need a day, if you need a mental break, take that
Hmm.
and
Don't
get back to
deprive
it.
yourself.
Don't
Facts.
deprive
No.
yourself. Take your break. Do what you need to do mentally for yourself, and then get back to it. Make a plan to get back to it. Say, you know what? Today I'm burnt out and I'm not feeling it. But sit down and say, you know what? How can I, one, take a mental break, and two, structure my life in a way where I won't feel like this again. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? I'm bringing some balance to my life. I'm not feeling burnt out. I don't feel like I want to give up. And I feel like when you are put in uncomfortable situations, that sometimes pushes you to be more creative, or it
Hmm.
should push you to be more creative. You
It
know what?
should.
It's not working out. People aren't really gravitating to what I'm doing. Maybe I should come from another avenue with it.
Hmm.
So yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. Again, I thank you so much for doing this interview. It's people like you that, again, for what I do, you feel me? I've seen you on other interviews, and I'm thankful you do that. A lot of people who may have local success so far, a lot of people actually turn down stuff like this. So I'm thankful someone of your
Really?
stature, yeah, someone who's not even as even I want to say successful, at least YouTube wise as you, trust me,
Right.
I get a lot of no's for this. So sometimes it gets
Wow.
discouraging putting a spotlight on our city because a lot of people are already in their mind bigger than their city. And I
Wow.
feel like this is a help me help you situation. This ain't just about me. It ain't just about you. This is
Yeah.
about what we can bring together to inspire the generation. So I thank people like you because it's people like you
Yeah.
that make people like me want to keep going and exposing what we got in our city. You know. So
Yeah.
again,
Keep
I
going.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. So before we do
No
get out of here,
problem.
could you just drop your social? Could you drop, any way anybody could get in contact with you from the YouTube channel to the IG? Please drop that all now so they can follow you and get into your content
Yeah.
after this interview.
No problem. But wait, hold on. Before I get my social media, I just want to touch on what you just said real quick. I'm sorry, I can't
Yes.
let that
No, no,
go.
it's okay. No, please don't.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to say for anybody, if you get to any point in your life and you feel like you too good to do certain things, just be mindful that all that could be going tomorrow. Or
Mm-hmm.
that could be going tomorrow. Don't
Fact.
ever feel like you too high on your pedestal to be humble. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Things do not always last forever and stuff can be taken away from you. You know what I mean? We live in a cancel culture and the minute you not doing stuff that somebody or you doing something that somebody don't like, everything you have could be good the next day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So um practice being humble. Definitely practice
Yeah,
being humble because nobody pedestal is higher than anybody else's. That's all I'm gonna
exactly.
say about
And
that. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I gotta add to that because then I'm gonna
Yes.
let you to social because you said it earlier and it kind of struck me a little bit like it's sometimes it's a popularity contest. Now, even though I know me, I'm not popular in the city, but like I told you, I interviewed Tamar. Jason Lee is my
Yeah.
mentor from Hollywood Unlocked, but people wouldn't know that. You feel me? Because
Right.
I'm not quote unquote popular in our city. You feel me? Like people may
Right.
know me, but I'm not one of those popular people and everything. So again, it's about you never know what people got lined up, and you don't know that the same person you saying no to now, I could say no. You feel me? When I'm at a position to possibly put you on and everything. So thank you for wanting to expound on that because again, I
Child,
feel like that
remember
needs to be
everything.
heard. That
Yeah, it
needs to be
does.
heard.
And what's going to happen is that you're going to remember, excuse me, you're going to remember
Hmm.
everything. Those moments where you
I
weren't
do.
popular, you
Hmm.
gonna remember that, and that matters. And people don't understand. Kind of goes back to that analogy, like you gonna treat the CEO the same way you treat the janitor. You don't
Facts.
treat nobody different. That's
Facts.
you don't treat nobody different. Everybody gets the same treatment. Everybody's human, and everybody deserves the same level of respect, essentially. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because people be like, "Oh, you're so humble," and I'm like, "No, I'm just grateful, and I know
Hmm.
that everything that I want and I see for myself in the future, I can't get if I step on people's backs to get there.
Facts. You feel me? It's like we can see each other at the top. You feel me? It ain't gotta
That's
be like, oh,
enough.
I'm going to get there. I don't need to come because like I said, this is something like to help promote what you're doing, and that's why I never
Yep.
understood when people would be like, no, I'm like I'm literally trying to help give people a better understanding of
You.
your brand, and you're telling me no. Okay,
Yeah.
you feel me? So
Yep.
again, thank God for people like you because it's like why I continue going because this as the culture turns almost died. You feel me? So I had to resurrect
Wow.
it and everything. So thank you. This is one of my first
Well, I'm
interviews
glad you
on here in a
did.
while. Thank you so much. Thank
Yes,
you. I
I'm glad you
appreciate you.
did.
People like you
Yep.
and G Styles, thanks so much. I appreciate y'all.
Yes,
Y'all have a lot of success
absolutely.
and y'all so humble and grateful. So thank you. Y'all make me
Yes,
grateful.
absolutely. I'm glad. I was when you hit me up, I felt honored. I was like, "Oh, he want to interview me." I was so nice. I was like, "You want to interview?" I'm always thankful. I'm always thankful. Anytime somebody wants to talk to me, I'm like, "Me?
Me? Right,
For
exactly.
real?"
And then we all say yes. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Because I interviewed Naj as well. I interviewed him
Yeah.
back when I was at the radio station and everything. You feel
Yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah.
He did great, with the rolling papers and everything. So
Right.
trust me, it's people like y'all that give people like me a reason to broadcast what we're doing because it's
Right.
about changing the narrative. If we let Daddy Times tell it, we just a bunch of thugs and murderers. You feel me?
Okay.
So we got to change our own narrative and everything.
Yep.
So that's why stuff like this is here. It's not about just me. It's about the community altogether.
Right.
But
Right.
again, thank people like you. It's people like you that keep
Yes.
me going for sure and
Thank you.
everything.
Well, I
Yeah,
definitely hope that you keep it going. Just like I said, stay consistent. You got something great on your hands. I think
thank
what you
you.
do is extremely dope, giving people a platform to just, have a real conversation. Like, I
Thanks.
think that's a lot of times that's missing, especially here. So
Mhm.
definitely dope that you actually gave, multiple people the opportunity to have real conversations, not only about their business, but just them in general is dope.
Right. Yep, it's about the culture. You feel me? And
Yep.
as the culture turns, we gotta turn it. And people like
Yes,
you
we
is
gotta
turning
turn
it.
it.
People like you is turning it. So it's like grateful to
Thank
have people like
you.
you. Yeah. So before I continue to keep giving you all these flowers, I'm gonna let you drop your socials,
All
your
right.
YouTube channel. You can drop all those. Any way people can contact you. Again, touch with you and watch your content. Please drop that right now.
Yep. So first things first, my YouTube channel where it all began is Bforeal. That's Bforeal. If you would like to follow me on Instagram for all things vegan, you can follow me at Bforeal610. And then if you are interested in the juice, any of our juice products, or stopping down by the juice bar to get a vegan meal, you can follow me at the juice page. That's Bforeal juice. JUICED. And then you
Facts.
can always check us out at beefrealjuice.com. You're able to do pickup or delivery orders if you're local. We're located at 2300 West 4th Street, Chester, PA 19013, right inside the Marketplace Food Court. Make sure you come down and check us out. We are there to serve the community and to feed y'all. So be sure to check us out, and you can always hit me up on Facebook at Britt Carter or the Bforeal Juice page on Facebook as well if you need business hours or if you had any questions about our cleanses or just vegan food in general. I am here to help. I love to answer any type of questions people have about vegan journey or just juicing in general.
All right, there we go. There you go. So again, y'all, make sure y'all check out all of that stuff, or at least one of those places
Yep.
to find out what Brit is doing from Be For Real. Again, I thank you so much. This is another episode of As the Culture Turns. And again, as the culture turns, the youth gonna learn. And
Yes. I
I
like
got so
that.
thank you. I got so nervous. I got so nervous. As the culture turns, the youth gonna learn all that toxic shit. We gonna let it burn. Bang.
Yes. I love it.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you,
No
Brittany. Thank you so
problem. Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much.